Welcome to TFL Running on Empty. Right now, fuel prices are crazy high, and here at the Bike Channel, we thought there's potentially a solution to this in commuter bikes because motorcycles tend to get pretty good fuel mileage.
Yeah, most motorcycles do pretty well on fuel, but I think especially in these times, there's going to be some people that are looking to switch to a motorcycle or buy a motorcycle as a second vehicle purely for the fact that it will save them some money in fuel. So we put a list together of some of the best commuter bikes, the bikes that are best on fuel and best to get you to work, to town, to go out to dinner, whatever you might be doing. So we're going to run through this list here and also kind of talk about what actually makes a good commuter bike in the first place.
So first we should define what makes a good commuter bike. Obviously you want a bike that gets relatively good MPG, and that's not difficult. Most motorcycles do get good MPG, especially compared to a car. Some bike only weighs a couple 100 pounds. Most cars weigh a couple 1,000 pounds. We're also looking at bikes in general that are water cooled so that you don't have a lot of heat rising up in between your legs, especially in traffic on a hot summer day. Also bikes with neutral riding positions, so you're relatively comfortable while riding. You can maintain some amount of alertness. We're looking at affordable bikes because you don't want to ride your life savings and park it and leave it unattended everywhere you go. That would just be a little stressful. A bike that is versatile in having passenger accommodations, as well as versatile in having ideally some storage, a large fuel tank, and then motorcycles that are additionally safe with technology features like ABS and traction control. And of course, a motorcycle as a commuter vehicle isn't going to be an option for everybody. Not everyone is able to ride a motorcycle, but for those of us who do ride, it is potentially a really good option. So Alex is going to start off with our picks for some of our favorite commuter bike options. The way we structured this list is that we've got our top picks from each category of different bikes that we think would make for a good commuter.
Yeah, and this really shouldn't come as much of a surprise. We're starting off this list with the MiniMotos because we love our Honda MiniMotos over here. We've tested pretty much all of them up to this point. The Grom, the Monkey, the Navi, the Trail, the Super Cub. And actually, we did a video last summer where you took the trail, rode it from here in Boulder up to Lyons, and you got 133 miles per gallon, which is just absolutely insane. On the new Navi, Honda claims about 110 miles per gallon. I think you could definitely beat that if you really try.
Yeah.
It only has a 0.9 gallon tank. It doesn't even hold a full gallon of fuel, but you can get well over 100 miles of range out of one of these bikes. And it's not just the fuel efficiency that you're getting here on these bikes. They're fun, but they're also really practical. So the Navi has an integrated and lockable storage compartment in the frame of the bike. It has a waterproof gasket on it, so you can, even throw like a camera or something in there and not worry about it getting wet. We also had the Trail here at our offices not too long ago, and that just has a massive platform on the back. You can throw a pie at pizza, a milk crate loaded up with all kinds of stuff. And the best part about these bikes are the price. $1,800 for the Navi, and moving all the way up in the lineup, the most expensive Honda MiniMoto is still pretty affordable, $4,200 for a Monkey.
Yeah, and not only are they affordable to buy, but maintenance is also not bad at all. It's not like the engines have a ton of oil in them. So oil changes are inexpensive. They're simple, reliable, durable engines if you keep up with the maintenance. So there's a lot of things with these bikes that are good. The commuting you would want to do on these bikes would probably be more like around town commuting, preferably under 50 miles per hour. You can go more than 50 miles per hour on them, but it's definitely not ideal. When I did that video with the Trail, I was really wrung out that whole time, and it definitely wasn't an ideal bike for that. And because these are obviously not fast motorcycles, they have about 10 horsepower on the 125 MiniMotos. You might be thinking, well, this is a terrible commuter bike. But if you look the world over, these small displacement Honda bikes are used to mobilize the masses all over the world. The Honda Super Cub is the best-selling motor vehicle of all time in history.
I mean, yeah, they're so small, they're so lightweight, you can park them pretty much anywhere. They don't take a lot of effort to swing up off the kickstand. So if you've had just an exhausting day, maybe you're in a trade or something and you're like working with your hands all day long and you're sweating, you're getting tired, at the end of the day, it's not going to be a huge hassle to get one of these tiny little bikes home. There's not much to them.
Inexpensive to buy, inexpensive to run, easy to ride.
What more could you want?
So next on our list, we're going a little bit bigger. So this next category of bike is the category of bike that I used to daily ride, and it's the Scrambler. And the reason I like the Scrambler is, especially for us based here in Colorado, you get dual sport tires, which are good in a lot of different riding conditions. We get a lot of gravel on our roads, so that just makes it a little bit more of a versatile bike. You also generally get a pretty comfortable and upright riding position. And then a big thing for me is that Scramblers are good looking bikes, and it's a type of motorcycle that you want to walk up to it, you want to interact with it, you want to spend time on it. And day to day, that's really important to me because I don't want to get tired of the vehicle I'm on. And the particular Scrambler that we picked for this list is the Triumph Street Scrambler.
Yeah, so we have a Triumph Scrambler 1200 XC sitting at our office right now. We've had it for a while. Roman loves the bike. It's a beautiful bike, but this one comes in a little bit cheaper at $11,200, making it much easier to get on and use as an everyday commuter bike. It's a parallel twin, 900cc, makes 63 horsepower and 59 foot-pounds of torque. And it is, of course, liquid cooled, and being a Scrambler, you're going to be in that upright riding position. Scramblers typically have pretty wide handlebars, which again makes it easy to maneuver in and out of tight spots in the city. Also, just makes it really comfortable to ride for hours on end.
Not the biggest fuel tank on this Street Scrambler. It's 3.17 gallons. That's enough to get you around, should be enough to do your daily commute, but you're going to have to fill up more often than you would on some other bikes on this list. But you do get some tech features like switchable ABS, switchable traction control. You've also got selectable riding modes. You've also got a USB under the seat so that as you're doing your commute, your daily ride, you can plug in your phone, keep it charged up. So pros and cons, but there's a lot of good things about this bike. And for me, the highlight is just that it is such an appealing bike. They're great looking. The build quality is phenomenal. They're great bikes to interact with, and it's not one that you're going to get tired of quickly.
All right, and now moving on to the next segment, which is the adventure bike segment. And if you know anything about Honda adventure bikes, you probably know exactly what bike is coming your way on this list. It is the NC750X, which is kind of looks like an adventure bike. It has some street going tires, so it's pretty much as perfect as it gets for a commuter bike. 745cc parallel twin, 58 horsepower and 51 foot-pounds of torque, according to published reports. But the coolest part about this bike for me is the gas tank, or the lack of a gas tank, I guess. So it has a 3.8 gallon tank, but the tank is not in the traditional spot on a motorcycle. So in front of the rider, where you would think the tank is, it's actually a storage compartment, and you can fit a full face helmet in there. So if you're going to the grocery store, you can tuck your helmet, not carry it in through the store. You also have a little bit of storage to put your groceries in after you go shopping. So I just love that. I don't always love the look of saddlebags mounted on the side of a bike, and with this, you have storage, but you don't have the look of storage. You don't have that ugly saddlebag look. So I think that's pretty cool. Decent wind protection. It is ride by wire. You can get it in a DCT, which makes it even easier to ride if you're a new rider or don't want to switch through gears. And yeah, not a bad looking bike, and just super, super practical.
Another really nice thing is that it has a base MSRP of $8,699, so it's not an especially expensive motorcycle. And like you were saying, that storage in front of the seat for a helmet is really nice, because a lot of bikes come with a helmet lock, but it's not that hard for somebody to cut the fabric on your D-ring and just and swipe.
Exactly. This keeps it completely out of view, and no one would even know a helmet's there. And actually, I was talking to one of the Honda guys recently. One of the guys that drives the truck around LA and delivers all the press bikes that's helped us out, this is his daily rider that he rides into their office every day. So just goes to show, out of the Honda lineup, this is what the Honda mechanic and transporter decides to ride.
Next up on the list is a motorcycle in the sport touring category, which makes a lot of sense for a commuter bike, and I'm gonna let Alex take this one because this is a bike that's very close to his heart.
Yeah, I really like this bike. Not only do I think it looks amazing, I love the new color scheme they did when they switched it over from the Tracer 900 to just the Tracer 9. But these are just very, very fun and very practical bikes. They use Yamaha's 890cc CP3, so you got plenty of torque. You have all the tech there. It has a 6-axis IMU with traction control, ABS, slide control, wheel lift control. You have suspension that is electronically controlled from KYB. But the reason I really love this bike is because it's just so sporty and so powerful, but you have that big windscreen and that big tank and big fairing to keep all the wind off you, makes longer rides much more comfortable. You have the removable side cases on there, you have cruise control, so it is just effortless to put many, many miles on a bike like this and do so having fun. They're really fast.
But there's an issue.
What's the issue?
How much does it cost?
It's not very affordable. It's $15,000, and I was poking around on Yamaha's website. It looks like they dropped the standard Tracer 9. I think you can only get the GT model now. I owned the previous generation of this, and it wasn't the GT, so it was a much more affordable bike. Now you can only get the high-end one, but there's good news there. This engine is available in many different Yamaha products. So you can go old school, get the XSR 900. You can go new school and get the MTO 9 if you want something a little lighter weight, more flickable. That's what I commute on. Or if you don't mind spending the cash on it, you can go full-fledged, get the big powerful motor, get the saddlebags, cruise control, big adjustable windscreen. Put a lot of miles on it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's no perfect motorcycle that hits every category exactly the way that we want. This is an expensive bike, but it has tons of tech, tons of power. So for somebody that wants a faster commuter that they're still going to be comfortable on, this is a really good option. Now, finally, the last category that we're focusing on for good commuter bikes are the standard naked uprights. And there are so many different motorcycles in this category that would make for good bikes. We really couldn't narrow it down to just one, but there are some that we wanted to highlight in particular. On the more affordable end of standard upright bikes, there's the 390 Duke or the Kawasaki Z400.
Yeah, so something like a Z400 has a 399cc parallel twin. You still get ABS, so it's not like you're lacking tech. 45 horsepower, 28 foot-pounds of torque, so it's still going to get you around town much quicker than something like a Grom will. 3.7 gallon tank, so again, not huge, but in a little tiny motor like this, you're still going to be able to get 60 to 70 miles per gallon out of it, according to published reports. And they're very affordable. This Z400 is only $51.99, so about a little over $5,000. Like Kay said, there's the 390 Duke as well if you want to kind of stay in the more affordable category. Same thing with like the MTO3 from Yamaha. And then if you want to go fast and step it up a little bit, the MT line and the XSR line from Yamaha, plenty of good options there. Honda has their CB1000R and CB650R. Kawasaki, just like the Z400, makes some bigger bikes, the Z650, the Z900. Suzuki, Triumph, they all have naked upright sport bikes. And I think this is kind of the most popular category for this, is the naked bike, because they're just so comfortable, they're practical, they're easy to ride because they're not huge for the most part. So this is definitely my favorite class of motorcycle, and it's what I commute on. I commute on an MTO9.
And you know, we all kind of have, well, Alex and I have different picks in this category of bike. He obviously owns the MTO9, so that's his pick. My personal pick in this category is the Yamaha XSR 700 because I love the retro styling. I love the CP2 engine because of the way it sounds and it's torquey. This is also a generally simple and lightweight bike, and pricing-wise, it comes in at $8,799, so it's not crazy expensive. Just a good all-around bike, and it's so good looking.
Anyway, guys, those are our top list of commuter bikes for 2022. We just really wanted to make this video because fuel prices are going up and up and up, and that's just a great excuse to get out and ride the motorcycle.
And of course, those are our choices for commuter bikes. In each one of these segments, there's tons of other motorcycles that would make for good commuters. So let us know in the comments below, what's been your experience with different commuter bikes? What would you recommend? And we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Yeah, let me know too. What's the worst commuter you can buy? Curious to know that.
Do that.
Let us know in the comments. See you later, guys.